Om Agnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam ताम सजीवम साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजना सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादाम सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखाम्बिकांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। थैंक यू माताजी। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Madan Gopal Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances on behalf of everybody who have joined the group and are about to join, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. We have had your association since a long time and we've missed you. Prabhuji, we are continuing.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, we are continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, the study of it. We are on Canto 1, Chapter 8. And the text for today, Prabhuji, is text 40.
Okay.
So, Prabhuji, I hand over to you. Or would you like us to read anything?
If I could share my screen, that will help.
Yes.
It's a real pleasure to be with all of you again. I've missed your association. It's been very busy couple of months, but glad to be back here.
Just a quick question. How is the temple coming up?
Temple is coming along very nicely. Most of the construction has gone on with great progress, and we're very close to our fundraising goal as well as the construction goal. So sometime in a few months, maybe another 8 months or so, 8 or 10 months, we should be able to move in.
Hare. We'll be there for the opening, hopefully.
We'll look forward to having you all for the opening. Yeah, we've already have one elderly devotee here, so already here for the opening. Jash Prabhu.
Jash Prabhu is there.
He's lived right in the temple, So and I hang out with him every Sunday, So
nice, good. But we want Victor Prabhu to come, and we want all the Prabhus from here.
All the devotees, all the Matajis, Prabhujis should come and celebrate. Also, I just want to let you know I need to leave exactly 5 minutes before the end of the hour, so I'll have to leave accordingly. Just want to.
Okay, Prabhuji, let's start.
Okay. So I'm able to share my screen hopefully now. Yeah, here it is. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay. So thank you all once again for having me over. And it is nice to see that we are now reading Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, and you've made so much progress. And chapter 8 is one of my favorite chapters in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the prayers of Queen Kunti. It is definitely worth memorizing many of these verses. They are so loaded with nectar, meaning, and reflection that we can apply on our daily lives. So today is another beautiful verse. Ime janapada savridha supaksho shadivirudha vanadri nadyudanvanto yedhante tava vikshitai. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits. The rivers are flowing. The hills are full of minerals and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. Purport. Human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization, and they cause the destruction of the noble aims of human life. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of the people in general, although a few only can live lavishly by exploitation. The natural gifts such as grains and vegetables, fruits, rivers, the hills of jewels and minerals, and the seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme and as he desires. Material nature produces them in abundance or restricts them at times. The natural law is that the human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reaction of such exploitative attempts. If we have sufficient grains, fruits, vegetables, and herbs, then what is the necessity of running a slaughterhouse and killing poor animals? A man need not kill an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetables to eat. The flow of river waters fertilizes the fields, and there is more than what we need. Minerals are produced in the hills and the jewels in the ocean. If the human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., then why should it hanker after terrible industrial enterprises at the cost of the labor of some unfortunate men? But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service. The indications by Kunti Devi are just to the point. She desires that God's mercy be bestowed upon them so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. Purport ends here. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Janashalakaya Chakshamitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, who has opened my darkened eyes and filled my heart with transcendental knowledge. I further offer my obeisances to all of you assembled Vaishnavas and seek your kind blessings and permission that we may recite Srimad Bhagavatam together. So here we have a little bit different purport, a little bit different angle compared to some of the previous verses. You know, glorifying Krishna. In today's verse, we see a point glorifying Krishna, that the wealth, the natural wealth in the world is because the Lord glances over the earth. And when the Lord glances over any person or any place, any planet, with His mercy, everything flourishes. But it's interesting, Srila Prabhupada highlights the definition of what it means to be flourishing. That is something for us to take home, take into our heart. We are used to thinking in terms of prosperity as great increase in the gross domestic product or gross national product, that we are producing lots and lots of things in our factories, in manufacturing, and we're exporting them, and we're increasing our foreign exchange balances, our bank balances, and so on. And with all that extra money, we can buy luxuries, increase the so-called standard of living. You know, luxuries like bigger cars, faster cars, smoother roads, better railways. These are all nice things to have. Of course, we all like them. We all want them. And in general, it's considered prosperity. We want nice gadgets. We want nice clothes to wear. We want lots of toys and trinkets and things for our children to play with, made with plastic and electronics and so many things like that. So we want all these things. What is the purpose of all these things, all these niceties, all these luxuries, all these toys, all this entertainment? What is the point of all that? Why do we measure our prosperity by the amount of things that we own and the number of artificial so-called excitements that we can generate based on selfish sense gratification? Because we are convinced that happiness can be found by squeezing more and more juice from the vital energy of the human being. And then we build troublesome industry on top of troublesome industry. We destroy the environment, we destroy the land, we destroy the oceans, we destroy the rivers, we pollute the air, and we cut down the trees so we can get these resources and build more and more factories. But what is the outcome? Mother Earth fights back. There's climatic problems. There's lots of health problems. There's a lot of mental health problems, as well as physical health problems. Why? Because we have chosen to go down the route of gigantic industrial enterprises. And Srila Prabhupada, in that second sentence of the purport, directly goes to the heart of the problem. Why are we working to build these gigantic industrial enterprises? Because we are seeking to fulfill the thirst in our heart, the thirst for happiness, at the cost of our very lives, at the cost of our environment, at the cost of our planet. And sometimes you have a plan A, if it doesn't work out, you have a plan B. We have this planet that we are on, planet A, but there is no planet B. There's only one planet, you see. So we cannot just destroy it. It is said, we did not inherit this earth from our ancestors. We have borrowed this earth from our children. We can't disregard the future at the cost of their lives because we want to so-called have enjoyment today. And that enjoyment is actually just another form of misery. So what is the root of this? Srila Prabhupada says, is a product of a godless civilization. When God is removed from the equation of our lives, when God is removed from the equation of our day-to-day being, when God is removed from the equation of our civilization, then the thirst of the heart becomes unbearable. And it runs so deep, and there's so much dissatisfaction, lack of peace. And to fill that hole in the heart, we will destroy the earth. We will destroy our relationships even. We'll destroy each other because we think by doing that, we'll finally find satisfaction. But it only burns more and more, that thirst. We put aside even our nobility, our good qualities, our integrity, just for a few more shillings, for a few more pounds, for a few more dollars, a little bit more gold. Prabhupada says what? He says that products of a godless civilization, and they cause the destruction of the noble aims of human life. The good qualities, the integrity, honesty, truthfulness, love and care, selflessness. These are noble aims of human life. And reconnecting with the divine, reconnecting with Krishna, reestablishing our relationship with God. These things get put aside, but these are the lines of action that will give us true satisfaction. And so we're seeing this, Prabhupada explains, the more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction people in general. So Queen Kunti in this verse reminds us what it means to be flourishing. And she also reminds us why there's flourishment. What is the root cause of that flourishing? Right? She says, Edhante tava vikshitai. Vikshitai means it is seen, it is glanced upon by you. Tava, by you. And all these things are increasing. Edhante. Previously, you might have remembered the other verse. Janma Ishwara Shuddha Shri B. Edhamana Madapaman. Queen Kunti said earlier on that this Janma, high birth, high parentage, Aishwarya, wealth, Shruta, education, Shri, beauty, Edhamana, they increase. What? Madah Puman, they increase madness in a person. But here she's saying, she's in the same word, Edhante, the increasing. But what is increasing? The overall prosperity, natural life, organic living. They're flourishing. Why? Because you, my Lord, are glancing over them. Same word, Edhante. See? So she is giving credit where it's due. And she's also highlighting what it means to be happy, to be flourishing, to have prosperity. So what is that? Herbs and grains. She didn't say, there's more chicken for everyone to eat, there's more beef and pork. No, she didn't list those. Supak aushadhi. Aushadhi means herbs. And viruddha means vegetables. And forests where we can, get fruits and so on. Rivers are flowing, clean water. This is wealth. Now they're predicting that very shortly, in the next few years, there'll be wars. You know how there are wars over oil? There'll be wars over water. There's not going to be enough fresh water for people to drink, to use. Because having fresh water itself is a huge luxury. It's a huge wealth. We don't realize, we take it for granted. You can imagine what happens if we don't have rivers flowing in Kenya. If Athi River and Tana River just dried out and the entire Lake Victoria dried out, just a big hole in the ground. It'll be chaos. But these things are predicted to happen as Kali progresses. Why? Because we are ruining the climate. We're ruining everything. Rivers are flowing. This is the wealth of the Lord. The hills are giving us minerals. This is real wealth. And the oceans, they give up pearls. It's described that they just come, pearls pop up on the surface. They wash up on the beach and you just go and collect them. You don't even need to dive for them. When the Lord glances. You don't need to make plastic, jewelry. There's real jewels coming out of the earth. But today's civilization is, because it's based on concentrating on sense gratification, so many people move away from the natural environment of the farms and things like that and go to cities to work in factories, and they live very hellish lives just so that they think maybe one day they'll also become millionaires. Some of them do, and they become rise to the top. They become corporate masters, and then they used to be factory workers, become corporate masters, and then they exploit the workers and so on. And then there's upheavals in the civilization, modern civilization, which rotates around industrial enterprise. And you usually find in any country two parties. One party is a pro-business party, and the other party is a pro-labor party. Almost always, most is right wing and the left wing. Any country you see, it's a modern way of dividing people. Because why? It all centers around industry. Before the Industrial Revolution, these parties were not based on that. You see, so before the 1800s, we didn't have these ideas of right wing, left wing based on industries, because there's no industries. But now it's all about exploiters and exploited. Sometimes exploited become powerful, and then they become communists, and that becomes very powerful. But the exploiters become powerful, and they become capitalists, and the capitalist parties become very powerful. And so they're always fighting. Srila Prabhupada explains this whole dynamic in Ishopanishad very nicely, of how these swing back and forth. It's worth reading that. But all that trouble is arising because of this whole idea that industrial enterprise is going to make us happy. In fact, we've had leaders even in India during the independence time, when they were approached that we should promote Bhagavad Gita, we should promote spiritual knowledge. And one famous leader, he said, no, we cannot have self-realization before industrialization. You see, because they're so convinced that the self-realization is a lower priority. Industrialization we need to compete with the world. But in many places, industrialization is causing such a toxic environment. That's why Srila Prabhupada promoted the natural life. In fact, if you look among the aims of ISKCON, he wrote 7 goals. One of them is to promote and establish simple lifestyle that's living on earth and show how it's doable. That's why even here we have farming communities. We have a farm in Kenya. Of course, we haven't successfully shown that yet. We need to manage it so as we can show, but there are many places in the world where they are doing it very successfully. We have our ISKCON farm in Hungary. You can check out their website, ISKCON farm in Hungary, Krishna Valley, which has hundreds of devotees living there, living off naturally from the land, and they make their own cloth and things like that, taking care of the cows and living very beautifully in tune with nature without having to rely on industrial enterprise, you see. So that's what Srila Prabhupada wanted. And we can see, like, even if you just take a break from our city life and go to the farm and just enjoy the peace of the air over there, and then naturally you just harvested the tomatoes and just harvested the corn and different things, and you cook it right then and there within 15 minutes of harvesting it. The taste is outstanding. The nutritional value is through the roof. You feel so healthy, you feel happy, and the smell that air is refreshing. You know, everything about that civilization, but we've forgotten, we've lost touch with it. That is high standard of living that even rich people cannot get here because everything is stale by comparison, you know. So what is Srila Prabhupada explaining? Let us recognize the value. Let us increase our standard of living and recognize the value of natural living and keep Krishna in the center. When Krishna is in the center, these natural gifts flow in abundance. It is just natural. The rain falls when Krishna is glorified. I saw that myself in Nairobi in 1991. Yeah, it was 1991, maybe 92. And for many months, it had not rained in Kenya. And our cows in our farm, they were really suffering and struggling. We had a hard time getting water for them to drink and stuff like that. It was really, really bad. So we decided, I remember Ramapati Prabhu and Rukma Prabhu, and we all decided that let us have a 12-hour kirtan. I'd never seen a 12-hour kirtan before. I was very excited. So I sat there and we sat through a 12-hour kirtan. I enjoyed it so much. And the 12-hour kirtan specifically was to request the Lord to bless us with rain. You know, and I saw the devotees, and it was very enjoyable. I sat through it from morning till the evening. And it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life, you know, in front of Radha Banki Bihari. And you won't believe that whole night it rained, beautiful rain, you know, and you can see a miracle. I saw this is like really, it really consolidated my faith that yes, you know, we can see everything is a miracle. And we see the Lord responds, he reciprocates. And what is that flourishing of human life? By living in tune with nature, you know. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also, if you remember, that food grains are produced by rains, and rains come from when we do sacrifice. And in this yuga, the only sacrifice is Sankirtan Yajna, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And the more we can simplify our life, the closer we can go to earth, the closer we can live in tune with nature, as Srila Prabhupada encouraged us to do. Or if we cannot, that's fine. At least we can support those initiatives by going there, visiting them every now and then, spending a few days there. Like here we have our Gitanagari farm. We go there all the time, or New Vrindavan farm. And we can support them with our, you know, financial support and things, and also promote that life. So there's different ways that we can also appreciate that, even though we can't, you know, disentangle ourselves from our city lives. That's fine, but at least we can appreciate it and see how the Lord is connected. And we can also try to simplify our city lives so that we are reducing our footprint of pollution and a footprint of exploitation. And we'll be happy. We'll feel a great deal of satisfaction, and it'll also accelerate our spiritual growth, which is what it's all about. It accelerates our appreciation of the Lord and our connection with Krishna. Okay, so I will pause over here and stop. If anyone has any questions or comments, I know we also want to discuss a little bit. Mataji requested to talk about Damodar Ashtakam. But if anyone has any comments or questions, we can discuss those, and I can talk a little bit on Damodar Ashtakam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think we can go on to Damodar Ashtakam because there are no questions for the time being. I think people, devotees in this group want to hear more.
Okay, sure. So we started the month of Damodar just yesterday, day before yesterday. And it is the most sacred month. I'm sure you've heard that many times already. And it is a very sweet pastime of the Lord who is being tied by the rope of his mother. And every evening and even in the morning, we sing Damodar Ashtakam. So if you're familiar with Damodar Ashtakam, it is written by Satyavrata Muni, very ancient sage, thousands of years ago. And it starts with a prayer, Namami. Now, Damodar is a little boy. His interaction with his mother is very cute, it's very naughty, it's very sweet, it's very intimate. We are encouraged, Satyavrata Muni, he zooms in to the beauty of that interaction. He highlights and really brings out the details of the sweetness of what's happening there between a mother and a child. But before he does that, he wants to remind us who it is that we're dealing with. Who is this Damodar? Why it's important? Because if we don't get it from the beginning, who this person is, Krishna, and we see the sweet interaction between a young child and a mother, we may think this is an ordinary child, we may think this is an ordinary mother, we may judge them based on that, we may maybe just appreciate the poetic nature of it, but we may misjudge the position of the Supreme Lord. Lord Brahma misjudged also when he saw Krishna just being a boy and playing with other boys and things like that, and jumping on him. He said, how can this be God? So similarly, we can also easily make that same mistake when we just see that this little boy is running away from his mother. How can he be God when his mother is about to hit him and he's crying, rubbing his eyes? This can't be God. Therefore, he starts out right off the bat. Namami, I bow down. To who? Ishvara. Namam Ishwaram. Ishvara means the supreme controller. So now you understand, before we get into the details, first, who are we talking about? Ishvara, one who controls everything, one who controls everyone. And who is this person? His body is not like ours. His body is not made of 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements. His body is made of 3 spiritual elements: eternity, cognizance, and bliss. Sat, Chit, Anand. His rupa is Sat, Chit, Anand, his form. So Namami Ishwaram, Satchid Ananda Rupam. First line establishes the supremacy of the Lord. It says, to the supreme controller who possesses an eternal form of bliss, knowledge, and eternity. So obeisances are offered with love and devotion before starting the rest of the specific characteristics of his excellence. And his supremacy is highlighted. Also, the word namami is a form of auspicious invocation. It's called Mangala Artham. Like we have Mangala Charan, this is Mangala Artham, auspicious invocation. So it's customary to offer that, namami. Now, this form of the Lord, Sanatana Goswami has written a commentary on this particular verse. Sanatana Goswami, among the 6 Goswamis. So he says, "O Shri Krishna, by seeing your beauty, which attracts the 3 worlds, these cows, birds, trees, and deer all experience hairs standing on end." It says Krishna's beauty is so enchanting that it even astonishes himself. That beauty represents a supreme zenith of great opulence, so much so that he is actually the ornament of his ornaments. Usually we wear earrings, ornaments to make ourselves look nice. Like, my face is not so good, I put on earrings, it look a little bit nicer. My face will look nicer, it shines. At least the earrings will look nice if someone's looking here. Face may not be so good. But with Krishna, when he puts on ornaments, those ornaments start looking better than they were before. Why? Because Krishna is so beautiful. He is known as the ornament of ornaments. See? So, Lasat Kundalam, that is being highlighted. What is being highlighted? His beauty is being highlighted. So first we understand he's Supreme Lord, Satchidananda Vigraha, and he dives straight into beauty of Krishna. Kundala means the earrings, hanging earrings that are swinging. So Lasanti means the swinging. Now, what does that mean? His earrings are swinging while he's running away in fear of Mother Yashoda. The earrings are being glorified because as they're swinging, they're touching his cheeks. So it's like he's saying that they're constantly kissing Krishna's beautiful cheeks, and they're so fortunate as they swing back and forth. Nobody has that kind of good fortune. You see, he's continuously playing and they're constantly touching his cheeks. So this is beautiful face is being portrayed. See, that is his Mahabhagya, Saubhagya of the earrings, that they have attained the position of super excellent fortune. Above all his other ornaments, he has necklace and other, bangles and things, but his earrings are the most fortunate ornament because they constantly get to kiss his face. Then again, Lasanti indicates that Lasanti also means the glistening, they're shining. Because why are they shining? Because they're reflecting the effulgence of the Lord's bodily complexion. See, the light is coming from the Lord's body. So therefore, Krishna is known as the ornament of his ornaments. And this line is also stated by the gopis in 10th canto. You're the ornament of your ornaments. So now, what is the next one? Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. So Gokule, we understand, is the very important place, the dham of the Lord. See? So this is these attributes, his family that lives with him in Gokul. Who is his family? This Gokule means a place where the gopas, the gopis, the cows, they all live there. This is all his family. And the word Brajamana means a particularly befitting place, a place where he can manifest his excellent pastimes. So much so that they surpass everything else that he's ever done in other incarnations in the past. You see, it's called Brajamanam. And this is it's glorious because it's only in Gokul that he manifests this natural characteristics of his sweet brilliance. See, in the 10th canto, it is said that Sri Krishna, who sits upon the asana formed in the lotus-like hearts of these Siddha yogis, is manifesting a body that is abode of all splendor of the three worlds. And he sat upon the asana presented by the gopis, is worshipped by them, and radiated even more splendor. So this, his sweet pastimes, right? They are glorified, especially in the last two lines. Yashoda biyolu kaladhavamanam paramrishtam atyantato dhrita gopya. The gopis. So what Yashoda indicates from his mother Yashoda, Yashodaya, from his mother. Bhiya. Bhiya means full of fear, like Bhaya. He is afraid of Mother Yashoda because he knew that he is committed an offense of breaking the yogurt pots, stealing the fresh butter, and so on. And he's running away from what? Yashoda Bhiyol Ukhal. Ukhal means the grinding mortar, because he knows that's where he's going to be tied to. So he's running away from the grinding mortar. See? And he knows that the grinding mortar is also his what you call accomplice in his crimes, because he used to use upside down ukhal to climb on top of that and steal the yogurt and break the pot. So ukhal is also needs to be punished. So he said best way to punish them is tie them together, they can't move. So he gets down from the ukhal because he gets caught on the ukhal. So you can imagine very cutely, quickly gets down and he's running away. And he's running with great speed. Speed means dhava, dhavanam. Dhavamanam means very fast, very quickly. So it's described in 10th canto. Shri Krishna turned the grinding mortar on end, climbed up on it, and he used to climb up and he used to distribute the butter from there to the monkeys. But due to the knowledge of his own mischief, his eyes are always looking here and there because he knows he's not doing right. He knows he's doing something criminal. So he's always looking out for Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda saw him doing this and she slowly crept from behind to catch him in the act. But he saw her. There's a famous painting like that, you've seen. So he saw her, quickly got down from the mortar and started running away just like someone struck with fear. Imagine Krishna. If we have any fear in our life, we think of Krishna, our fears go away. When we think of the lotus feet of Krishna, our fears go away. Bhaja hure manashi nandanandana. Abhaya charanar vindre. Abhaya charanar means fearless because we are focusing on the lotus feet of Krishna. That same Krishna is now full of fear from Mother Yashoda. It's amazing. So even the great yogis who are able to use their minds to concentrate on Brahman and things like that, they cannot get a glimpse of this beautiful scene. It's not accessible to them. Only those who are pure devotees of the Lord can get this vision in the heart of Mother Yashoda chasing her son Krishna from behind while trying to catch him. Then Tato Drutya means she ran very quickly. So Gopya is Mother Yashoda, and Paramrishtam, she catches hold of his back. So here the words Atyanta Tato Drutya means running behind Krishna very quickly means that this is the excellence of Mother Yashoda's beauty. You see. And the loving use of the word Gopya means the great fortune that came upon the whole Gopi caste, the whole Gopa caste. The fact that Krishna was born among the Gopas and he grew up among them. And then the Paramrishtam means this unique attribute of his affection that Bhagwan feels for his mother Yashoda. Sneha Vishesha, it's called. His very deep love for Mother Yashoda. See? So in the 10th canto, there's a verse. While chasing after Krishna, the slim-waisted Yashoda's broad hips caused her pace to slow down. From running quickly, the flowers had come loose from her hair and were falling after her, but she continued to pursue him. In this fashion, after chasing him, she finally caught him from behind. So she ran quicker and she caught him from behind. See, so every word of Damodar Ashtakam is really full of nectar, full of meaning, and our own Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, has brought it out. It's known as Digdarshini Tika. So that's just the first verse, which is a quick overview of it. There are 8 of them, Damodar Ashtakam. If you can find, you can just Google it, Digdarshini Tika of Sanatan Goswami. You can just look for Sanatan Goswami's commentary on Damodar Ashtakam. There's tons of websites, tons of references there. If you have the time to dive into every word of Damodar Ashtakam, it's particularly useful to study this commentary of Sanatan Goswami. Because then, when we are offering the lamp to the Lord and we can remember those words, they can trigger the sweet memory. They can trigger a deeper understanding. They can gel in our heart on what we should focus on while we are offering. Otherwise, they just become meaningless words. We memorize them, and they sound beautiful. But if we know what they mean and the sweetness behind each word and the depth given by our acharyas, we can have a much richer month of Damodar experience, a much deeper connection with the Lord as we look at the rope that binds his belly, as we look at the lotus feet, as we look at the ukhal, as we look at Mother Yashoda strenuously trying and sweating to tie him down, and the love that she has, And then we offer the circles of lamp around the image while singing these words and meditating on the meaning and getting into the mood that Satyavat Muni is trying to convey and recognizing our good fortune. Then we can get so much out of this experience. We don't do it every day in the whole year, just this 1 month. And even this 1 month, sometimes we miss a day or two. Try not to miss them. Try to take full advantage. And see how much nicer you feel when you have understood some of the meanings behind these words. Okay. So I'll pause over here. This is just to give you some idea of how much nectar there can be available. As you read through the rest, the 7 other verses, please read through them, find the commentary, and absorb your mind in Krishna's sweetness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for immersing us in the sweet pastime of the Lord. Are there any questions or comments? I think, Prabhuji, everybody's still enjoying the nectar that you have just talked about.
How are things going in the Eldoret project?
Eldoret is going on well, Prabhuji. We have acquired the land. So, Divesh Prabhuji, are you able to talk? Divesh, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Long time. You okay?
It's been a while. Yes, doing all right. How about yourself?
Not bad. Good, good. Thank you so much for today's class. Really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you for coming, and thank you for inviting us.
Sure. Just to brief you a bit on the project, we've acquired the land.
Yes.
And actually the designs are underway, and we're waiting for the subdivision to be done. So once the title's in the name, then fundraising is also needs to start now for the construction.
Of course, yeah. I was actually quite surprised to hear how much expensive that land was, right? It's Eldoret. I thought, maybe it may not be so, it was very costly. I mean, it's about the same at par with buying a land in a city here in America. It's quite incredibly expensive. But it's amazing that you all got together and got the funds raised for the project. It is quite impressive,
So Lord Krishna's grace.
Yeah. No, it is. Krishna has been very kind, and I think it's like a wave of new projects in ISKCON happening right now, which I'm really grateful for. Maybe I can share with you. Let's see if I can share with you our own. I made a video a couple of weeks ago. This video over here, I'm going to just share the screen a little bit. Let's see if it's going to work. Share screen. I don't know if this is working. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can. You
Yes,
have to
I'm gonna play this one. And this is just a 3-minute video. So this video I took a few weeks. Well, I put it together a few weeks ago, and maybe it'll give you some idea. Let's see. So you can see most of this work we did during the COVID times, which was very tough to do, but somehow there was a time when we made progress. So I took most of this, all these shots with using a little drone that I have that flies up and come out very nice. This is the welcome lobby, and this is the temple room. These windows are really tall. It's like 18 feet tall. We're getting new Radha Krishna deities made by the same family who made our Vrindavan Radha Krishna deities. Radha Shyam Sundar.
Wow, it's so beautiful, huh?
Yeah, yeah, we've it's a long process. When we started, when we had the land, we had only, after we bought the land, we only had like $50,000 in our account, but still we decided we'll start construction. And at this point now, we already spent, you saw, $6.5 million. We only need another $600,000 to $700,000 for us to get to move in. So, and how we raise the funds is we basically have this system of going door to door. We knock on everyone's doors in the whole town. And we have a system, okay, we're going to go this neighborhood, and then we invite them to a special program, cultural program, where we invite them to a hall, and we give a nice kirtan, we show maybe a little skate or some dances, and then we give them first class prasadam, and then we propose show the project, how it's going to benefit the town, how it's going to benefit them. And like that, they give. So that's the system we've been using. It's been working so far. We've been using it for a couple of years. And so people come, of course, our own congregation, they're going to give, but we want to grow our congregation also. So this way it gets people interested in ISKCON, Krishna consciousness. And also, so that's something that worked for us.
Thank you for sharing your ideas. So I really appreciate all that.
Yeah, if you like, we can, if you want to have another meeting or something just on this, I can show you how exactly we did it and give you some details and strategy and all. If you need, show you have also your plans.
No, that'd be very great. Thank you so much for the offer.
All right.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for sharing that and offering to help. We'll definitely call upon you for that. We are still in baby steps, so your experience will mean a lot to us. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Govinda Prem Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Govinda Prem Prabhu. Govinda Prem Prabhu, by the way, he helped in our project quite a bit. He came here, he helped us going door to door fundraising. So thank you, Govinda Prem Prabhu. He can tell you more about how we've been doing things.
First-hand information, yes. Thank you very much. Can I request Arya Govind Prabhu to kindly thank Madan Gopal Prabhu today? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, Prabhuji, for this wonderful inspirational class on the Bhagavatam, as well as on the Damodar Ashtakam. Many nice points to carry home, and then remember each each letter in the Damodarashtakam while offering the lamps. Thank you so much also for the nice video that you shared with us regarding the ISKCON project, what you're I'm almost to complete. Thank you so much for all the inspiration, Prabhu. We look forward to you in the near future, although you're in a busy schedule. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I request all the devotees assembled to unmute and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra once in glorification of His grace, Madan Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Vancha Kalpataru Vaishnavebhyo
Sitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila ki jai.
Jai. Hare Bol.
So thank
Hare
you. Look
Bol.
forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Hare Bol.